So behind this wall, as you can see, these walls go all the way around. Also good for keeping the cords underneath. In there we've just Lemax planter, simple little one. That's a Whiz Kids well. Also conveniently matches the wall. That wall's painted, that one's not, but we'll get to that. That's a little diorama we set up the other day. Down here in this little mess, that's one of the small walls. Once again, we've got a Lemax planter in the garden. Head up to the Opera House. This is a little planter box I made on the 3D printer. That's just cheap little plastic plants that I stole out of the wife's pots and glued in there. And that sits in there. There's a little garden. The Lemax planter goes in there. I'll show you the one I made. The garden for the railway. This is a Go Fun Hogsmeade Hornby station. Grass mixed with sawdust. A bit more sawdust over here. And these here are nosh flowers. This Roskog thing from IKEA has the nosh flowers in it. Each one of those little tiny clumps is a flower. And this is some of the foliage, which I'll show you again. Put the spotlight on there. This little cemetery piece, we'll take the figurines out of here. This took about half a day to print. Little cheap moss that we got from Kmart. We bulldog clipped that onto there while it dried. Now it's dry. Once again, this is Woodland Scenics and Nosh flocking. Just sits up like a little garden inside the cemetery. Adds a bit more realism to the graves and sawdust. Another little planter box to show you. Once again, I printed this out in 3D printer. I printed a lot of these. Basic little lichen in there. Couple little orange nosh dots. They just add to the gardens. I don't know if you've seen the video on the 100 Acre Woods, but this is 100 Acre Woods. To make it more realistic, we changed the colour of the trees. So if we get over here, I'll bring the light over. It's 1 o'clock in the morning over here at the moment. Okay, you got a Christmas tree there. One colour tree there. Colour tree there. Different colour tree there. Another colour back there. So when you look at it, I'll put the light down here. When you look at this, it resembles nature more because it's more diverse in its colour. And then yeah, there's, I didn't make any of those wells. Over here is a tiny little plant. This is fragile. This is carpet flocking. You can get this in Woodland Scenics and from Nosh. Comes out as a stretch. And that sits on a tiny little bush. Bring that tree out, little shrub out. And glued that on top. And that just blends in to your garden setting. This area is still a bit of a work in progress, but those 2 trees have been printed. They have actually now got to be painted and flocked. A lot of people are commenting on cobblestones I'm making. Now these are getting made on my old printer, which as of about 3 days ago has decided to have a bit of a fault, so that's not working. But I've got a nice new resin that I just showed you. That's a long road. 10 centimetres, about, what's that, 4 inches. I've got piles of them. They go everywhere. So you can see the long ones. And these are just little tiles. So I'm going to head over here. This is, I'll zoom back out a bit here. So we've got the Big Ben Tower, as I call it. All the way up yonder. Got some cords there to hide. But little tiny square tiles are very versatile. Use them anywhere in the village. And trees to hide, cords everywhere in this village. Quickly show you my painting cupboard. That's at the primer. This finished going needs painting. That Here's one of a few I've made so far. Gates. These giant wells, fountains. And these are a couple of door gates. Back here's a post office. That's another tree that needs flocking. More wells. More wells. These two are garden beds. You fill them mostly up. Paint the sides. They're an inch tall. And then you plant them out with those nosh flowers. Small garden beds down here. That's what I showed you before with plants that comes out white because that's what I printed it in. That's another pot plant. Once again, you paint it. There's no pot plant down there to do. These two buildings, lovely. These are cottages, double O scale, and that's the signal box. Printed on this resin printer. The bulk of the printing jobs I've got were done on this thing. At the moment, the SD card reader in there is broken down, so I've got to replace it. But that is brand new and working a treat. One small wall. Now just find some sunlight, if we're lucky.